Welcome to the comprehensive DDD guide. In this 10-part series, I will explain everything you need to know to start off and become an excellent DDD player and unleash the power of capitalism with our corporate demons. Part 1. Basics and one-card combos. Okay, here are my glasses. Alrighty. Hello fellow associates, DDDeamer here. So you are new and want to learn the infamous spreadsheet deck but saw all these different guides on the internet and you hate to read? Don't worry, I got you. I will teach you in less than 15 minutes how to get started in this demon company. Today, you will learn what the deck is, how to get it, what it aims to do, and your first two combos. So without further ado, grab your notes and let's get started. First things first, deck facts. Our corporate demons are mainly dark fiends. There are some exceptions to this rule with our higher ups such as Executive Caesar being water and Genghis being fire, but aside from them we are talking about only dark fiends. This means that this deck is inherently strong against floodgates like Rivalry of the Warlords and Gozen Match. So if your opponent decides to flip these cringe cards on you, you simply don't care and play through. The deck itself is a toolbox deck with a wide variety of demons to choose from. This means that it can switch from offensive to defensive rather easily and has an in-archetype answer to almost everything. Also, it is very persistent, so if your opponent doesn't OTK you, you will usually OTK them in the following turn, cause half of your deck will reborn itself no issues. The only thing that you need to do, however, is to find the correct play, which is very hard, but don't worry, we will get there. Onto the deck ranking. That's why I would say the deck is tied as tier 4, roughly in the ballpark of Sword Soul and other competent rogue strategies. The only difference being that it is super hard to pilot. On Master Duel, you will usually see average DD players hovering between Plat, Diamond and Master rank. Okay, but how do we build this deck though? Almost everything of the deck core can be pulled from the secret pack Cross-Dimensional Contracts. You will get almost all your DDDs with this pack except for Machinex. And to that I say, what the hell, Konami, put the company's president in his pack, dammit! Now you might think, gee, sounds hella fun, but I'm broke and I don't want to lose a kidney to play this deck. Don't worry, the deck core is dirt cheap. On Master Duel, it mostly consists of SRs and only 3 URs are mandatory. You can expand it with another one being DDD High Flame King Genghis, and now we're talking about 4, which is still not a lot. In the TCG, the deck is even cheaper. On Card Market and TCG Player you can find deals for a DDD deck core for around $15 to $20, which is an insane value. Now this is the deck core. I will explain it in detail, so don't worry. In the main deck we have 1 Necro, 1 Lamia, 3 Swirls, 3 Kepler, 1 Syrup, 2 to 3 Copper, 1 to 2 Authors, 3 Griffin, 1 Ragnar, 1 Thomas, 1 Rage, 1 Patent, 3 Gates, 1 Swamp, and 1 Headhunt, amounting to 25 main deck cards. Now in the extra deck we have 2 Small Genghis, 1 Siegfried, 1 Caesar, 1 Tell, 1 Big Caesar, 2 Machinex, and 3 Gilgamesh. Everything else is optional, so you can include a Maxi package, hand traps, and additional extra deck monsters if you want to. Alrighty, so what do we want to end on most of the time? We want to have a live Machinex and Big Caesar on the field, minimum. Machinex is our field disruption, attaching up to 4 monsters of your opponent as his material. This is a very hard removal to deal with. Caesar is our 2-time special summon negate. Because both are not once per turn, the opponent has to hard draw board breakers, because if not, they simply lose. Disclaimer, Although I will soon show you the combos and my future videos will show you even more combos, I still want to emphasize that you need to learn how to improvise and create your own combos as well. This is the only way to improve at playing the deck, which is why I will always provide you checkpoints you have to meet to get some of our boss monsters onto the field. First checkpoint, Machinex. You can summon this guy like a Zodiac monster, just overlay it on top of any DDD monster you might have, typically Gilgamesh. However, keep in mind that you either need a contract or at least 2 materials for Machinex to be alive. Next, our big boy Caesar. You usually overlay him by using 2 small Genghis, meaning you need access to 2 fusion summons. This is usually done through Necroslime and Swamp King, which means that you must ensure that you have access to these cards in your combo. If not, you have no big Caesar. Now lastly, the card placement of your board. I can't stress this enough. Board placement is very important for DDDs. If you misplace one of your monsters, you might have screwed up your whole combo. So to prevent you from doing this mistake, here's the typical card layout. You want to have Gilgamesh in the extra monster zone, and the monster fields which Gilgamesh points to free from any monsters. So don't put any of your monsters in the zone at the center if you did not pen summon. Otherwise, if you pen summon, you might lose an extra body that you desperately need for your combo. Next up, do not clog up your pen skill zones. So don't put any unnecessary spells and traps there if you still did not resolve Gilgamesh's pen skill effect. So remember that. Now you might ask, well, where do I put my contracts then? Well, the center back row 3 zones are always free for your contracts or your DD traps, so please put them in there and not in the pen skills so that Gilgamesh can resolve. Finally, your first 1-card combos with DDD. So here we go. First, normal summon Kepler. Kepler effect searches for the dark contract. We search for the gate. Gate is our Rhoda. We now activate Gate. Gate now will search Griffin for us, because Griffin can special itself from the hand to the field. With our second extra body we go into Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh is our main play to set the scales from the deck. Our scales this time are Rage and Serb. Rage is a 0 scale, Serb is a 6 scale. Therefore they are perfect so that we can pen summon Griffin and Kepler out again. But now we can use the effect of Serb to level up Kepler to 4 so that we can overlay into small Caesar. And from then on we go to our standard play. This is the standard DD play, to go into Tell. Afterwards we will burn the opponent by activating Tell's effect. We will target ourselves with Tell. And now we go into our second Gilgamesh to dump Tell into the grave so that we can trigger Tell's graveyard effect. Tell's a foolish burial too. We will foolish our Necroslime so that we can fuse from the grave into our small Genghis. Afterwards, we will overlay into our first Machinex. This will trigger our small Genghis to reborn our small Caesar from the grave, so that we can then overlay into our third Gilgamesh, so that we dump the Caesar into the grave so that we can trigger Caesar's effect. Caesar will now fetch our Dark Contract of the Swamp King so that we can go into our second small Genghis. Now we go into our big Caesar and we finish off with our live second Machinex. This time he can suck in 4 materials. Now to the 1-card Gate combo. Gate now searches for copper. We will normally summon copper to foolish a card. This time we will foolish Lamia so that we can get the second body onto the field. We will trigger Lamia's graveyard effect to special itself by dumping in a contract or a DD from the field or hand to the graveyard, and now we go into Gilgamesh, and from then onwards we can set our scales. This time we set Griffin and Thomas. Now we pen summon Copper to the field. Afterwards we will pop Griffin by boosting the attack of one of our DDs. We activate Thomas to fetch Griffin out of the extra deck so that Griffin can special itself from hand again to the field, and this time we will overlay into Small Caesar and go as usual. Now you might see and notice that the plays are very similar, so DD is not really a spreadsheet deck. We always do the same thing over and over again, but just with different components. So basically, the real difficulty of this deck is to get to the point to Small Caesar, and afterwards it will be just the same. We want to dump the Tell usually to get the Foolish out, and we want to dump the Caesar to get the Dark Contract out, and it just depends on the game state which contract we want. Keep that in mind. From here onwards, it's just the basic combo, just like the one card Kepler combo, so I won't comment it, it's just the same, it's not different. We will now revive the Small Caesar, and from then onwards we will dump the Small Caesar again to get the Swarm King, so on and so forth. You know how it goes. Sadly, in this case, the combo is a bit weaker because we only have one Dark Contract on the field, which means that our Machinex will, at the end, only suck 2 materials out of the field of your opponent, not 4 like in the Kepler combo, which is a bit tedious. But 4 interruptions and 4 cards in hand are usually enough to win a game state, so that shouldn't be that much of a problem. Wow, I'm impressed! Congratulations, you have learned the 2 essential combos in DDDs. We're off to a good start. Now you can start sacking all the gold rank opponents on Master Duel, right? Well, no. Wrong. If you didn't notice, we just burned all 3 Gilgameshes and 1 Machinex for these combos. This was super resource heavy. Therefore, these combos are only meant to be used in an emergency. The real meat lies within the 2 and 3 card combos of this deck. So in our next part we will learn what these 3 cards enable us to do with our board. Next time in the DDD guide, the basic 2 card combos.